Hello, it's Daryl at 10-Foot Truck, Good Attitude Services. And today, I didn't work today because yesterday I did a job that was in Idaho, so it was and it went over to the other side of the city, so I think it was probably roughly about 60 miles, so about 120 mile round trip. Everything was going great. The customer was really happy. I ended up moving she bought a pretty large glass cabinet that came in two, so it's very heavy. We had to get it out of storage. I got it safely. It's really fragile glass. I basically used this cardboard here to cover the front of the glass so that I could tie it off without putting any pressure on the glass. And had all my, of course, all my blankets or moving pads, so nothing got damaged. Got it out. But I was hearing it was kind of going on an uphill to the job, and I was hearing there was a slight noise when I was idling. I was hearing something in the motor, but I wasn't sure by the time I got all the way down the freeway. So we're talking all the way. Hold on, you might hear a train. Oh, that's interesting. They're going backward. Oh, there's a train coming. Sometimes I'll honk and it'll be really loud, so I'll have to start the video over, but it looks like they're just moving along the other direction, pushing something. I don't know. Train tracks are right here. But anyway, so back to the story. I was all the way back, so it was a long trip, no problems coming. I was all the way back on the exit to get to where my house is, and I saw the battery, the light on the dash, the battery image. So I said, oh no, it's the alternator. That's what I was thinking. Then I couldn't really steer very well. I was like having a hard time steering, and then it was a stop sign, so I was ready to brake, and the brakes were very hard to operate. I could barely stop. So then I realized something's going on with the power steering pump or something, or the belt of some sort, because the alternator was flashing, and then the engine light flashed. And then there was another light. I can't remember, the other light started flashing, and the motor was still running, but it wasn't. I was getting all these images, and the brakes weren't working. I couldn't steer very well. So I was able to get it into a parking lot where there was it's like an apartment complex, and of course I have AAA, and I have roadside assistance through Progressive. So anyway, I popped the hood, looked, and I right away with my flashlight. Always carry a flashlight, especially if you're driving at night. And I could see that the serpentine belt was completely off the pulleys, off the alternator, and it was completely off all the belts on all the pulleys. So I knew that I wasn't going to be able to drive, because the power steering pump also operates the source for the brakes. Give it your brakes. I don't know how it works, but those are connected. And of course the alternator was not connected, and the water pump wasn't connected, so there's no, you either overheat. So if I kept driving, I overheated. Plus I couldn't really brake. So I contacted AAA. I thought, well, they're going to come out, but I had forgotten before. I had a similar issue. I had to call AAA. They do certain things, but with commercial trucks, they weren't able to haul. They're not able to tow. I don't know why. They said they were not able to tow a commercial truck. So I had to go back to my Progressive, and it took a while to get through all the different things you go, and they'll send you a link, and you go on the smartphone, and you just kind of answer these questions before you get an agent. Got on there, and it took a while, and they said, yeah, we can tow a commercial as long as it's not bigger than a delivery van this size. They were able to put it on a flatbed. So once I got that all taken care of, the tow truck driver was there. He contacted me. He was there really quick. So props to them. I don't know the towing company, but the Progressive, the commercial insurance, since it's covering commercial vehicles and the roadside assistance, that was really good, and they were very quick about it. Once I got that order through, they contacted that company that was close by, and they gave me a little map showing where, kind of like an Uber, where the truck is and when it's going to arrive. So they give you really good notifications for indicating when to expect the driver. It's all through text messages, so it's pretty efficient. So I'm really happy about the Progressive roadside assistance since AAA won't cover me, I don't know why, on those commercial. They'll cover the car, but they'll help with the car, but they won't help with the truck. So I'm going to have to use Progressive from now on for the roadside assistance. And that's the thing. It's very important to have roadside assistance in your policy because, and now I learned a commercial policy for commercial trucks is through Progressive, because had I tried to call a tow truck driver and hire them, through my, pay them, it would be extremely expensive to do that. The guy towed it right here, back in the driveway. I did some looking on it. It looks like I called a mechanic. It could be, he said that the belt, since the belt fell off, it's probably like a tensioner, a pulley, bearings, or it could be the alternator, could be the water pump, it could be the power steering pump, it could be the, I think even the air conditioning compressor. I think it's hooked onto the serpentine belt. And of course the water pump and the power steering, and which is connected to the brakes. And so the motor's running. It's running fine. It's just that it's not connected to all that. And he quoted me a good price to put the belt on, but he said it's probably most likely something that it's either the alternator or something like that they're gonna have to replace. So that's gonna cost a little bit more money since I have to replace the parts. Because the belt, he said, is only gonna cost, he said for the part and the labor, he's only gonna charge you $150 to put the belt on. But of course that won't do any good if one of the parts is or one of the pulleys is bad, because then the same thing will happen. So whatever part comes out, I looked online. I think the most expensive overall would be the water pump. That part's more expensive than all the other parts. Like the alternator's not that expensive. The compressor, the air conditioning compressor is not too expensive. The pulleys aren't that expensive. And what else? Is that all the list there? I don't know what else is connected, but the other parts were not that expensive, where the water pump is, and I'm suspecting, my intuition is telling me it's the water pump. So I'm getting prepared for that. It's probably going to be close to $500 for that repair, and that's the way it goes. And I just spent $200 on a sensor, but the mechanic's really good. He only charges $50 an hour, which is extremely reasonable. And that's probably about the cheapest. And he's a really good mechanic, so I'm really happy about that. And he's just right here, so I can have it towed over there. I called Progressive, and they said that I have up to three tows, so I have 2 more tows, so I can have it towed over there, get the price on what's needed if I have to tow it back, so I'll have those covered. So it's just, that's very, that's important to have that. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to talk about, because I have to wait till Monday. That's his next slot where you can work on the truck and look at the truck. So I'm kind of curious of what it is, so that I kind of know what the price is going to be. So I'm not going to be doing any truck jobs this week. And it was funny because, well, not funny, but I just got the customer is great. She's going to give me a great review. Was really happy with with the service. Is going to have me go back. She'll be a repeat customer. I'll be going back helping her out in the future. So that was great. And then as soon as the next day, I get all these calls about needing the truck. So I'm losing money because the weekends are a really good time to do transporting of furniture. And we get a lot of calls for just transporting stuff that's sold either a store, they're picking up at a store, or picking up through a Craigslist buyout, those kind of things. Like, that's a lot of my business. I'm kind of diversified on services. I don't just do junk removal, because I had initially started with this truck as a furniture delivery truck, contracting with stores. That was my initial idea for the truck. And then I really didn't come across junk removal. I had no idea how that business ran until like watching some videos. I think it was Sonoma Strong, maybe a couple of years ago. So then I started implementing that in and learning how to price it and putting it on my ads. Because before that, I was always either moving labor. Before I got the truck, it was moving labor. And then when I got the truck, I was basically doing furniture delivery for these stores and mattress deliveries and that. And when I was doing that, I would get calls for helping move and that stuff. And I started getting people just wanting to give me stuff in storage, like, just take all that stuff in the storage. I don't want to pay the storage. So I started getting all this free stuff. I was getting mattresses and things, and tools and stuff. So then I started, and I wasn't charging them at the time because I didn't think about it. And it wasn't until I started watching these junk removal videos about how to charge for removing trash, junk, and all that, storage, cleanouts. So it took me a while to figure that out. So I'm pretty new at that. That's why I'm watching, the videos to see how to operate that. But I'm not going to stop doing furniture delivery and moving, because that's what I've been doing that for years. I've been doing, the moving services off and on online. I was advertising online for moving labor, and I started doing that in 2004. And then I started advertising on my own, Craigslist and so forth, and then just getting contracts. So most of my work I was doing moving, and then once with the truck, pickup and delivery. So that's going to be my main jobs that I get. But I am slowly bringing in junk removal. Of course, this weekend is not going to happen, so I got to wait till Monday. So what I do, instead of renting a truck, I could, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the car and do Uber Eats, Instacart, and all this, make some money doing that on the weekend, and so that's something to do. Because I could rent a truck, but if someone called me on a big job, like a big junk haul, that was going to be $400 or $500 or more, I would definitely go and rent a U-Haul. I would definitely do that. But for these one-off pickups, picking up furniture and delivering, I usually get about $150 on those, or even if it's short, close to here, I can even go down for one item as low as 80. So a lot of those are just between 80, 100, and maybe 200. So it's not really worth it unless you stacked up like 4 or 5 of those in a day. Then you could rent a truck or a van. But if I have one of those, I'll let you know. I will go and rent. We got plenty of U-Haul dealership or U-Haul places here, and we have Fluid Truck here, and places like that I can rent, and they have a lot available. So if someone calls, I still have the ads up. Yeah, I'll just go rent a U-Haul and get the job done. But for now, I'm just gonna take the car out for some deliveries. But anyway, I wanted to update on that. So the point is, I just kind of want to put the video together to let people know that the importance of having roadside assistance in your insurance policy. And so far, Progressive, that's the only company I can work with for commercial operating a commercial truck. So I have their roadside assistance, and as far as I can see, it's awesome. It works great, at least in this town. It may be different in other areas, but here it works. They're very quick and very efficient, and very happy with their service. So at least I got some value out of my insurance. That is kind of expensive. So the way it goes. It's raining really. It's supposed to have a windstorm, and it's raining a lot right now. So yeah. So I can hear that. Let's see if there's a leak over here. Yeah, see, I've had a leak up here. I'm paying attention to. It depends, I think, where the wind is blowing. I have to go back up and seal that when it dries up. And that's the only issue I have with the box. But right now, it looks like it's fine. But it's raining pretty heavy out there, but no snow. So that's good. We're supposed to have snow next week, and I think usually in the beginning of March, we have a little bit of a snowstorm, and then it kind of rains like this, and then in April you'll have maybe an ice storm, or like it continues to rain, and then sometimes you'll have hailstorms. Those are the ones that kind of scare me, are the hailstorms. We don't get them a lot, but a couple years ago they predicted one that was going to have like softball sized hail. So in that case I have to cover up the truck because I don't have a garage, but hopefully we won't have one of those. Those are pretty rare, but it's your typical rain and cold. So anyway, that's about it for Good Attitude Services, a 10-foot truck. Hope everybody's doing great out there, and their vehicles are running, and they're able to, they're operating good, and maintain those vehicles, and keep an eye on them, and make sure you have some way of getting roadside assistance in case that happens. And another thing, that's right. Another thing I want to do, this is long, I'm sorry I'm talking so long. Another thing I was thinking about is not only the roadside assistance, was one other thing I was thinking about. There was one other thing, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I have these reflectors. I have cones too, but I have these reflectors. So when I was kind of on the side of the road, so I always make sure I'm like driving on that side of the road, and that's why I kind of was able to get off the side of the road and get over to, because if I would have went the other direction, the brakes would have probably not been good, and I might have hit someone because the brakes were really, really bad since they're hooked to that pump. So I went the right direction up, and then I was able to get these reflectors, they're like triangles, and put them out so that when people are driving, they could see that, and the flashers, having the flashers on, so that they could see. There was one other thing I just can't remember that I thought was important. And oh, sorry, that's what I was gonna remember. Also, one of the things I did early on, not only having the roadside assistance, but I also make sure I have either Uber or Lyft app on my phone. We'll put it with money in it, because when that tow truck driver got there, he wasn't able to have me ride in the truck. So I just used Lyft, and Lyft was there within 1 minute or 2 minutes, I think. And so I always thought about that. If I ever got caught somewhere, like I was out somewhere and the truck broke down, I knew that I needed a Lyft or Uber, some way to get back if I had to, follow the tow truck driver, or had to get somewhere else to stay if I had to wait. So that's also, I think, important too, to have some kind of way of getting transported if your truck breaks down. And I try to stay pretty close. I used to go really, really far trips and stuff, 300, 200 miles, but I've kept it back. I'm deciding to stay within a within a 25-mile radius. Sometimes I go a little bit more than that, because if something like this happens, if you're way out in the middle of nowhere, it would be a nightmare to be stuck out, especially at night. And then it started snowing too, so I was glad I was really close by. It made it a lot easier. So I'll update you on the truck once I get it into the shop, and tell you how much, what it was, and maybe, and kind of how much it's going to cost and how long it took to fix. So that'll be on Monday. Signing out. This is Daryl at 10 Foot Truck Good Attitude Services. Have a great day.